I like this idea of just like, we need Italy as a country just become like ridiculously reactionary and fascist, just so like it will make Jan Fleischhauer have good takes on things. If his like only political position is to be contrarian to
Italians.
Italians.
Well, I was Googling Beppe Grillo, as one does. And then I saw something come up about how Beppe Grillo is the new Benito Mussolini, so I clicked on it. And it was actually a Jan Fleischhauer article, and I was like, wow, it was in English and everythk. But it wasn't, it was from like 2013, yeah.
Oh, back
6
when
years
Beppe
ago.
Grillo was relevant.
So it wasn't like, it didn't have that like raw, like wild and out energy. He was just sort of like, some people think it's necessary.
Wait. You're
He's a
saying that
populist.
then that
like it sounded like very, very cucked, I gotta say, from Jan
okay, but you're
Fleischhauer.
saying that the article that then was titled about how Beppe.
Like, it was just the headline, and then the article itself was actually very, like, it didn't have the classic Jan Fleischhauer. There were no slurs. Maybe it's because it was in English. He didn't know how to tap into his wild German energy.
It doesn't. Yeah, you don't have like your slurs for Italian American dictionary next to you. So that's weird though that you'd have a title that like just stupid, and then just have like a normal.
In the end, it was like, yeah, and he's just like Benito Mussolini. Like, he also said that he wasn't a party; he was a movement because the parties were like corrupt.
I need to find this because I only found out recently that 5 years ago. Yeah, here we go. Okay, 5 years ago. Yeah, Matteo Salvini did like a half-naked photo shoot for the purposes of a calendar.
That's fucking sexy.
I knew that. You weren't on the mailing list. I signed up to.
What the fuck is this?
I signed up to Salvini's Substack, and he was sending that out.
I don't understand why this happened. It was like, it's the beginning of this article that I have saved about like how things have changed within Italy since, it was Lega Nord and now it's La Lega. It's like, yeah, I've been around since then, paying attention to European politics. I've been like, I know some of these changes, but this is something that weirdly fell under the radar for me.
It was too hot; they had to censor it.
Yeah,
burning giant piles of this picture.
It's the profits received to this are being donated to a hospital in Milan, which I kid you not is called Buzzy, just with Z's and an I instead of S's and a Y. The Buzzy Hospital in Milan.
I love it. I love living La Vida Lega.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I love it a bit.
Ooh, hey, welcome to your weekly corner Späti. I'm Nick. There's Kieran over there.
I found out this week that if you go to a McDonald's drive-thru with a shopping cart, they can't stop you.
What?
A shopping cart is an acceptable vehicle for a McDonald's drive-thru.
Finally.
Is that true, or is that just your joke?
Only if it's diesel powered.
I mean, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it be done.
Hell yeah. And Rob's over there in the corner.
Hey, I'm living La Vida Lega, and the shirt's the color mocha.
Yeah, that works.
And yeah, we're gonna be speaking of authority, power, and all those cool things. We're gonna be talking about what EU Army today.
We're not really sure what we're going to be talking about. We're going to find out as this goes. I've collected a lot of articles from our favorite publication, The Economist.
Yep.
And we're just going to go through them and eventually talk about the EU Army.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come up because The Economist is, if you're the one who Rob broke his brain on these, but I'm imagining they're real horny for this concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The Economist is horny for like anything that then is just like in 5 years they're gonna have to like write an article about like why they held that really bad position.
Yeah.
They're like national. They're like, because National Review has the same like vibe as well of like apartheid, cool idea. Or like, they're like pro segregation, I think, and shit like that. Like ever since the history of that magazine has existed in the U.S., they've had every bad take that you can have. The Economist is the exact same, just like a little bit more higher brow because it just has a name that makes it sound like it's smart.
Well, the thing about The Economist and their like slavish devotion to the free trade ideology since 1843 is that they try to be like optimistic, the sun's always shining, liberal, capitalism is lifting all boats, but like liberal capitalism, occasionally they'll just wild the fuck out, and for 1 year they'll just want to murder everybody.
Yeah,
And then they're like, that was weird. Let's not do that again. That's the old me.
Whoops.
yeah, you always get these like, there was one article from them the other day too that was like, pretty much just like green lighting Islamophobia in like every sense. It's like, do we really need Muslims? You know, and it was like, how when can you tell a Muslim not to wear their headscarf?
Oh, that was The Economist?
Yeah, that was The Economist. Yeah, that was definitely a fucking wild and out take.
There was a weirdly related, but there was a conference I went to where they were discussing the question of like, basically they were discussing the question like, would there be an ecological impact if we got rid of all the mosquitoes? And it basically came down to the answer of, which I found very surprising, no. We could actually get rid of all the mosquitoes and there would be no like actual problems.
Good.
Anything that eats mosquitoes also eats other things, blah, blah, blah. But I just imagine The Economist is just that, except the opening question was, is there an ecological impact if we got rid of all the Muslims? God damn it. All right, before we do that, though,
It's time.
it's time again for a recurring section, Mega Rica,
Hell yeah.
where we discuss one of Europe's obscenely wealthy people and why they're just really fucking dumb.
The country this week is the free trade zone of The Economist.
Yeah, right? Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to tell the two beautiful boys here today with us the net worth.
Yeah, Yulia may be swinging by later. We don't know.
Yeah, she might be able to pop in and
She
steal
went out
us
for a
round.
coffee an hour ago. She's never coming back. Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, I'm just going to go get a coffee. Just breaking up with our
I'm just going to
podcast.
get a pack of smokes.
Yeah. Yulia is our father.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about how much money this person has, how they made their money, and 3 pieces of information about them. These are big ass pieces of information today, so let's deal with this.
Please don't fuck around today. Like, I want some big bucks.
You want some big bucks?
Yeah.
And you said they're complex, so please chew the piece of information and drop them in our mouths like baby birds.
All right. So, net worth, $7.4 billion.
Okay, that's acceptable.
Yeah. Made their money in, I'm going to say fashion. Right?
Same.
All right. Fact number 1. He owns a large farm in his native country, mostly for the farmhouse purposes. And the farm in proper is a part of a food brand in his native country that keeps making a roughly 377,000 loss every year for the last 16 years. He's been bankrolling this farm and this like food brand for the purposes of keeping his very luxurious farming house. He also has a shoe chain that in the last 8 years of ownership has been losing about $1 million worth of deficit every year. He also launched an online grocery shop in his native country that has also been making yearly losses of about $12 million each year.
Who the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, right?
God, no one can tell me now that, like, yeah, no, like, in order to be a fucking, millionaire or billionaire, just a small business owner who fucking knows what their shit, like, got their shit down, made their money, that you have to be, like, in any way smart or capable of doing anything, because clearly that guy is fucking stupid. I'm assuming it's a guy, right?
Yeah, they're all,
Okay.
yeah. There's one woman in here.
Oh, so we finally, we finally broke the glass ceiling.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We'll talk about her when we get to her, I guess.
It's like Trump where they're like, they're losing tons of money every year and they're like, I actually don't have any money. I'm actually really poor, while they have like golden toilets and stuff. Like this very like alienated feeling from what actual wealth is. Cause it's like, you see the numbers don't lie. I'm losing money.
Yeah, it's buck wild. Like, it's amazing how I couldn't find any of this information until I went to like press in his native country. Cause like, yeah, the rest of the world just seems to love everything he does. But like in his native country, they're a bit more like, he keeps losing money in all these other businesses he puts his money into.
So it's Bono.
No, that's the reverse. Fact number 2. He loves his weird building projects. Under the protected farm estate that he owns, he has a 2-story underground house that he gained planning permission by setting up a deal to build in the same municipality a huge head office for his business. This building has been described as the Eye of Sauron, or even its own city, mainly because the head office/building is going to be built in a small rural town with a population of 7,000 people. But itself will be 645,000 square meters, contains shops, cafes, petrol stations, and office spaces. This project will be named after his company. Literally, the place will be called Company Name Village. I can't tell you the company name, though, obviously. Yeah. The building would be 320 meters high and would be the tallest building in this region of Europe. Many opponents to the building from a local economy environmentalist or architectural position have complained that the town's local paper won't publish their views, comparing worship of the company to be almost a religion. The paper reports there are no oppositions to the project.
All right, wait, that is a lot to digest. You didn't chew it up.
I got it. You're just
so
fucking dumb.
I have a picture for this.
There's already the Eye of Sauron building.
No, it hasn't been built yet, but I do have a picture of what it's going to look like if you guys want to look at it.
Please.
I'm showing Nick first.
What the fuck?
Oh, hell yeah. That looks tight.
So for the people at home, it's this absolutely massive glass skyscraper in what is an otherwise very rural region of the world.
It's not even a good-looking building.
No.
What the
Looks
fuck?
like a bunch of Rubik's Cubes stacked on top of each
boring.
other.
At least make it sexy.
I thought it was the actual Eye of Sauron.
I thought so too. I thought it was gonna be like this big.
I thought there were going to be lava mines for his, where I guess he makes his fashion in lava mines all around them.
His fashion is just we're getting all these really rustic helmets, and I put my hand in white paint and just put it on top. All right. Fact number 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you guys a little hint, because I'm going to tell you a country he doesn't live in.
Okay.
Scotland. He's the largest individual landowner in Scotland, a country he's not from. He continues to buy more land there and hopes to make it one contiguous stretch of area. It's currently 890 kilometers squared, or 345 square miles.
Thank you for putting that into terms we can understand.
Yeah, you're welcome. Which is, to be fair, 1.1% of all Scottish land. He hopes to let it rewild and reintroduce lynx and wolves, something locals are not too keen about. In a manifesto on his website, he describes their deep connection with this magnificent landscape and their pledge to restore our parts of the Highlands to their former magnificent natural state and repair the harm that man has inflicted on them.
Repair the harm that the fucking Scots have done. Ruining our beautiful wolves and lynx.
To give you an idea of his plans for the area, though, once contiguous and rewilded, you may want to look at the land he owns in the Carpathian Mountains in Romania, which is basically another country he's not from, another hint for you guys, where lynx and wolves and bears are hunted for sport. So yeah, those are your 3 facts about our beautiful boy here.
He sounds kind of like our other guy with the nice mustache from Romania.
Ion Syriac.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be John?
I think so. Yeah, John Syriac.
Yeah, so with his gunship of going around and killing, what was it, boars?
It was boars, yeah, endangered boars, and he
Yeah.
single-handedly killed 300,000 of them or something. It was ridiculous.
I think it was only 100 and something, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
still ridiculous. All right.
So to summarize the facts, fact 1, he owns a bunch of businesses that just keep losing money.
Okay.
Fact number, he owns a bunch of businesses that do make money, but then he also just invests in all these other businesses that are losing one of them is losing 12 million a year.
One of them is just so that he could have his ranch, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, basically, because he lives in a farmhouse that is also a heritage site. So he it's an old building in the area, and he wants to be able to live in it. But
so
that
he
means
can play cowboy.
Yeah, basically.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Fact number 2 is basically that he's bribed his local municipality into allowing him to build underneath this heritage site a giant 2-story house for him and his wife. I'll talk about his kids later. And also, they bribed him by building this ridiculous fucking building in a town of 7,000 people for his giant fucking corporation. And then fact number 3 is he owns a lot of Scotland. He is the largest individual landowner, the only person who owns more land in Scotland than him. The only organization is the Church of England.
Okay, I don't know what to do. So he made his money in fashion, you said, but
Fashion.
that's like kind of vague.
Yeah. I can be more specific. It's fast fashion.
Is it a company that like we know here in Germany or no?
You would know it, yes.
Okay, then I'm just thinking of. It can't be Sweden because they make more money, but I'll just guess Sweden.
Okay.
The Hennets Moritz guy or whatever.
Yeah. Rob, what do you think?
Is H&M from Sweden?
Yeah,
Okay. Isn't the IKEA guy richer?
I think so. Yeah.
I know the French guy's fashion, but I think he's more famous than, like he has more than 8 million.
7.4
billion.
billion, if you guys want to.
Yeah.
But I don't know either, so I'll say France.
All right. So you're both wrong,
Okay.
and I'm going to give you.
I'm not gonna guess again. I don't.
He's
care.
gonna give us the region.
Yeah. Okay.
That-
you can
that's
give
a
us the
strategic
I'm
region.
going to give
guess.
you the region.
Okay.
Nordic.
Oh fuck. There's only like 2 other countries. Man.
That is not true. There are more Nordic countries than that.
Fast fashion.
Mm-hmm.
The brand we know,
Yeah.
and it's Nordic. Denmark.
Yeah. What's your? Do you want to get another guess? Rob is eyeing the room.
Finland?
Finland's
Okay.
not Nordic.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Oh,
It's not Scandinavian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Boom.
Finland?
Nailed it.
What?
He was Finland. Did you get it right?
No, you got it right. It's Denmark.
Oh fuck yeah.
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, who is this guy?
So
Fuck
his name
Denmark.
is Anders Hock Povsen.
Cool.
His big brand is this like conglomerate company called Bestseller, but like no one like
Sounds like a fucking like hip hop label from like the 2000s.
It sounds
Bestseller record.
specifically like a Danish version of like, we love the G Unit culture. We're gonna call ourselves a bestseller.
So the big brands that he has underneath that you might know, Veroda and Jack Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
But then the other, the really big thing you would know is he's a major shareholder in Zalando.
Oh.
And he also owns outright one of Zalando's big international competitors, which is ASOS,
Yeah.
which doesn't operate in Germany but operates in like the
They
UK.
operate here. Yeah.
All right.
Asus. Yeah.
But they're in a lot of markets that Zalando isn't, even though they're basically the same company. ASOS is another company that's just losing money year on year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's his big baby. To give you an idea of what this guy looks like, he's a little kind of like Potato Man and his
What the
wife
fuck?
there on their estate.
Oh, that's weird. Not very billionaire energy.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm kind
So-
of upset.
In
Is
regard,
Is that the famous estate that's his
Yeah.
ranch that is trying to be taken over?
yeah,
It's a nice looking ranch. Can't blame him.
He owns the ranch, but he basically, the ranch has to be a part of this like food brand that he's basically bankrolling.
Why
So
is
keeps
it
his
a
money.
heritage site?
Because it's been there since like the year fucking like 500 or whatever. It's just like really old ass ranch in Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is he on the ranch in a full suit? I don't like his ranch attire.
I think you're thinking American ranch. This is Danish ranch.
I know, but like I would expect like a little fucking billionaire weirdo like him to be like, oh well, I have my own ranch and I don't even know what fucking accent that is.
That's getting pretty close to Danish.
Yeah, and he just wants to be a cowboy like
No, you
people
see-
in Hamburg do and shit like that.
No,
but they're
I-
all pimps actually, so
So I think this is the
like
thi-
actual pimps, not that they're cool.
this is like a weird difference between like I would say European billionaires who want to live on like farmland estates versus American billionaires who want to live on
But
farmland
he's
estates.
Danish. He probably has like a weird fetishization with the fucking U.S. that I can't.
No. Because like American millionaires who live on ranches are definitely like they want that cowboy aesthetic. They want you to think they actually work manual labor on the ranch, which is like. But the European equivalent of that is like I want you to think I have like 1,000,001 farm hands working underneath me. Like
Cool.
I've never even seen a cow. Like fuck it.
I don't want to either.
I don't want to. I also want to talk about this giant fucking building thing. So this is going to be called Bestseller Village. And people also pointed out that one of the big complaints with Bestseller Village, because of where it is and because of the nature of Denmark, this is going to be in Jutland, right? So this is going to be like a stone's throw away from Hamburg. And the thing about this building is you will probably be able to see it from Hamburg.
Hell yeah.
Because the land is so fucking flat. Other big places in Denmark to visit that you will be able to see it from is like, let me see, there's this name of this village. There's a village called Jelling, which is basically the old royal seat for Harald Bluetooth. So like, people go there because that's where like the Viking kingdoms were basically ruled from. You will be able to see this fucking building from there.
I thought you meant like Bluetooth, like the.
That's what it's named from.
Is it really?
Yeah, because it was a Danish company that made it, and they named it after Harald Bluetooth.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. I learned something.
I actually knew that.
Look at you,
I'm feeling pretty smart.
Smartass.
You will also be able to see it from Denmark's famous Legoland.
Cool.
This giant fucking building.
Wait, I'm surprised that like Lego wasn't the most.
The richest person there, yeah. I think it's weirdly the guy who invented Lego was just like weirdly egalitarian and just like gave his money to. It was either he was weirdly egalitarian or he had like a fuck ton of kids, so the money just got dispersed really quickly.
Okay, I was gonna say like, damn, it's like Lego like secretly communist because that would be cool. It would make me like Lego even more than I do.
I think he did leave the country because the Nazis took over for a while, and then he came back afterwards. Anyway, so this is why everyone's complaining about this building, even though there's supposedly no complaints, is because Denmark is so fucking flat, you will not be able to escape this fucking building.
Like the Eye of Sauron.
It will become the largest building in all of Western Europe if it's built. It will be taller than the Eiffel Tower. And other thing I want to say about this, one, the land he owns in Scotland is stopping the UK from building a space base.
Okay.
Because he owns all this crucial land.
Critical support with our fellow Anti-Angloistische Aktion member.
He was stopped in 2015 for speeding while drunk in his Tesla Model S.
Okay.
In his electric car, because he cares about the environment. And the reason he only ever really entered English news recently is because 3 of his 4 children were killed in the terrorist attack in Sri Lanka recently.
Okay.
There was that bombing
in
the hotel in Colombo while his entire family was on holidays, except for him, his wife, and his son were just out at the beach at the moment when that happened. And his 3 other kids were, killed.
Okay, that's weird.
That is weird. But yeah, so that's the only reason he's in English news, and that's why to get all this other information I had to go to Danish fucking tabloids.
So is that why you said he had kind of like a positive image outside of Denmark?
Yeah, mainly, because after this happens, no one really wants to talk about it.
So they feel bad for him. The Germans love him because he's going to return the stolen German Jutland back to Deutschland.
He was also, there was this weird scandal where that I didn't mention because I couldn't really mention it without giving away where he's from. But 9 out of the 10 richest people in Denmark are all from Jutland. And he got into this weird scandal about what effectively was an argument that boiled down to we're just a superior people within Denmark, and that's why all of us are billionaires.
I read a quote really similar to that the other day that was like that same vibe. Fuck, it was like a screenshot, I think, from like a PragerU video or something like that. About
the superior nature of Jutland.
No, about how rich people are just they're just genetically better.
It was a PragerU video with Otto von Bismarck speaking, saying why Jutland belongs to Prussia, because the Danes are not this industrious and hardworking.
Yeah,
swarthy Danes. You mentioned his kids.
Yeah.
What? I love the kid content. So please, are they rappers? Are they?
They're dead.
They're dead. I just mentioned. They're
all dead. I forgot about that. They're all dead.
All but one of them are dead.
Damn.
Which, if it wasn't a very famous terrorist attack, this is a thing that kind of happens with rich families in Europe, especially ones that have been going since the year 600 and they have a family crest. It's just they'll have 3 kids and then suspiciously 2 of them die on a ski slope in the Alps somewhere, and then only one of them gets inheritance. But there's 1 kid left now out of 4.
That one kid's actually a member of ISIS.
Yeah, the Sri Lankan branch of ISIS.
Okay, and he coordinated this so he could get the wealth.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my low key theory.
That's hardworking Jute industriousness.
Yeah.
Joining
Going
ISIS
real deep
to get your. to get your family fortune.
The Jutland branch of ISIS.
All right. Well, I say we.
I'm doing Megarika by dice roll now.
Okay.
I just
cool.
roll the dice and be like, okay, cool, number 30, I guess that's Denmark. It's a spreadsheet.
So,
Okay.
all right. I guess most people know about The Economist, but I do just want to.
Yo, you know about this
y'all ever
fucking
heard of this
magazine,
shit?
bro?
A niche paper.
And we have read other dumb bullshit on the show like Der Spiegel, but The Economist, maybe the OGs. And I think they've really.
Yo, turn off that fucking beep boop.
I turned off my sound and it's still doing it. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's
Coming through
It's from the TV.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, well,
here, give me
sorry.
that.
Also, my computer's loud as fuck, so I don't know how that's going to work with the
There we go.
recording.
Okay, that's been bugging the shit out of me.
Now you threw me off. Where the fuck was I?
The Economist. Is
The
a cool
Economist.
paper, or magazine.
Dumb ass paper. I'm sure everyone. We don't even need to remind people of like all the dumb shit they post, but
150 years of just sucking.
they fucking Karl Marx is out there being like The Economist represents the peak of like the late of
Yeah, that was in
aristocracy.
the fucking anime and everything.
No, it was The Atlantic that was in the anime. The Atlantic, dude. The sound is off and it's still doing it. I don't know what to tell you.
What kind of fucking demon magic does Discord have?
It's more like my computer. It's fucking like 10 years old. Okay.
No, the mic's picking up.
Even like Lenin has a bunch of takes about how
Yeah.
garbage The Economist is, and The Economist even wrote on Lenin's like the 100th anniversary of the Russian Revolution. They had a thing about like Vladimir Lenin hated us, and we think that's cool. It's like
causing all this conversation. The Economist, you're really getting out there.
Weren't
Yeah.
didn't they
Messy.
do like? Didn't they have that like Marx for capitalists or something?
no, that was the Financial Times or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
That was brain genius, fucking galaxy brain take.
Whichever, all the papers that have like the paper brown background on their website just all blend together to me.
Yeah.
And it can't like this needs to be said every time you talk about The Economist, just because it's endless. Another thing that's endlessly humoring to me. It was founded around the controversy surrounding the Corn Laws. Just imagine your existence being
Sick.
predicated on something called the Corn Laws.
That the corn laws fucked up my country.
I know it's important. It just sounds hilarious.
So wait, all right. I'm not even gonna fucking.
I want
ask.
to read something from their masthead. This goes back to maybe not 1843, but goes way back.
So what was The Economist's opinion about slavery around? This
Oh,
time?
what was their opinion about like fucking the British Raj and like millions of people dying of famine? They literally were like, do you see where this line intersects that line? Sorry. Like that literally they would just send this stuff off to like whatever the British governor there. And he's like, yep, that's why. Meanwhile, he just like does a ton of like opium and writes shitty poetry and yeah.
Okay, this is very important that we remember this as a podcasting team. But as soon as we have someone on to explain British politics, I kid you not, the origin of most modern British politics is like these parties have existed for millennia, and the reason they split is because the fucking Corn Laws. So
It all goes back to the Corn Laws.
it's all the Corn Laws, man. That's also where the Irish famine comes from. Fucking okay, go on.
So I just want to quote this. The Economist's goal is to, and I quote, take part in a severe contest between intelligence, which presses forward, and an unworthy, timid ignorance obstructing our progress.
My money's on ignorance.
That's their whole. So when they're like,
In this fucking trump card game of like emotions or like states of being, my money's on ignorance.
but by intelligence they mean like finding 20,000 different ways to say like colonialism actually good,
Yeah.
and like timid ignorance is not being brave enough to tell the truth of Yemen, and that it's because they're chewing this drug. That's why they're actually all dying, not because of like not because of a genocide supported by fucking half the world. That's The Economist's energy summarized in one line.
I need to really learn about their position of the Corn Laws, because my new character bit now is just going to be every time we read something from The Economist, they just wedge in something about their take with the Corn Laws.
Well, my new bit is the 1800s The Economist reply guy.
Yeah.
Just fucking loves reading The Economist. Honestly, all those fucking all the like Irish living in slums all throughout the England and Scotland, you know, they should just work harder. Why don't they get more capital?
I don't know. I need to read The Economist to tell me why.
Fucking dumbasses. But I want to talk about one specific aspect of The Economist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, thanks to Kieran, I was introduced to this one article, which we'll get to later. But I learned that it's part of a broader series. Not only this series, but also throughout The Economist history, something that they like to engage in, which is a little bit of futurology and alt history. Ooh. The series specifically is called The World If. Now, maybe you know about this already. They do it every year, and they have, what would the world be like if this happened? And it's really just some like dumb Black Mirror shit, like what if you could sell your child, and just whatever else The Economist likes to do. What if witchcraft was the reason that Africa is underdeveloped?
What if the Whigs, but they supported the Corn Laws? I love Black Mirror.
That's basically it. So The World If is a series where they just post a bunch of it breaks down into two major categories, as I'll explain in a moment. But it's not just that. They have a long history. In 1999, The Economist organized a global futurist writing competition, The World in 2050. It was co-sponsored by Royal Dutch Shell. Okay, cool. And everyone was supposed to say, what will the world be like in 2050?
The only caveat is Shell as a company must still exist.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder what kind of world Shell is going to create by 2050.
Eco-fascism. Woo!
Yeah. Do I get to rant about alt history shit now? Because,
well, yeah, go ahead. Because the World If series, basically, most of what it does is it just says what if this thing happens that we think would be good, even though it clearly won't be? And then it's like fucking 10 paragraphs that say yeah, actually it's good.
They're just weird short stories. Basically.
Let me read you a couple examples.
Okay,
One, what if France's reform succeeded? Suppose France's president manages to transform his country and his continent. This was written in 2017, right after Macron was elected, and it's just a bunch of the once declining banlieues are and it's just, that's it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I have more, but Kieran, you wanted to say something?
No, give me some more. Give me some more fuel here. Come on.
What if blockchains ruled the world?
I hate
What if we put the Corn Laws on the blockchain?
This one I thought might be in the second category, but no, they love it. It's in the first category. What if borders were open? And the subhead is literally the $78 trillion free lunch. And there's an accompanying Facebook video where you just have a bunch of British shitheads who are all, when you look them up, Gina Miller, who's the biggest, she's suing the UK government about Brexit because it's illegal. And they're just when people move, that's industrious. And it really builds character, basically, when you have to be an economic refugee. So that's another one of theirs. This is a good one. What if every woman in the world had a smartphone?
Okay, and?
Basically, and I kid you not, I'm not going to bring up the article, but it's shit they would be able to watch videos about how to farm better, and they'd be able to better organize the manual laborers they hire.
Jesus Christ. The other side of that would be a very here's my spec script for Black Mirror. What if every woman had a smartphone, but also men weren't allowed it, and just gets into this weird men's rights ranty type shit, and we've rejected your spec script for Black Mirror.
Here's a bit about alt history. What if Mao Zedong's Communist Party had lost the Chinese Civil War to Chiang Kai-shek's Nationalist Party? And there's just nothing to say. I read it, and it was just sort of yeah, Chiang Kai-shek would also be authoritarian, but the Cultural Revolution wouldn't happen. Mao is bad.
Wins, the Uyghurs lose, basically.
And reading it, I'm just guess what, bitch? Mao won. Sorry. But that's the kind of alt history they're engaging in. They're just what if this thing that was we didn't what if it didn't happen? That'd be cool.
That's just, that's the ultimate just typical reactionary trope, though, is that they just fucking love that, what is it? What about, what's the one that they fucking, that Kurt Schlichter wrote about, and Ben Shapiro's also written the same thing as, if the U.S. became socialist or whatever.
Well, that gets into our second category. So the overwhelming majority of the what ifs, the world ifs, are, if every woman had a smartphone, finally we could tap into this potential where they would be able to all become, I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
They can all women
watch videos about how to farm, and they'd all be rich. And even though borders are open, they're just they make 20 times the wages here, So if just literally the whole world moved to England and worked in factories, think of how much more money they would make. Like these so-called economists just are completely unable to understand the like actual world scale of the economy and like through history. It's just right now there's this opportunity. Like that will just stay forever. Capitalism, all boats rising.
Capitalism's never changed.
This is the opening quote from fucking Fallout.
There's a lot of fake friends out there.
Yeah.
Who like change on you. Capitalism never changes.
Capitalism's consistent, baby.
All right, so I'm a big fan of like alt history as a genre, but like it is just filled with some like really fucking problematic shit a lot of the time.
There is good alt history.
Yeah.
Like we have to like I don't want to be a hater. Like
Yeah. So off the top of my head, fucking going to recommend to fucking everyone is the Yiddish Policemen's Union, which is about like what if the Jewish state was set up in the like what do you call it, the Panhandle of Alaska. Because that was the thing the U.S. was like thinking about doing, but the senator, like there was like one senator who opposed it, and they were just like, "What if he died in a car accident before this all happened?" And then suddenly there's this like Yiddish-speaking state in America. I was like, "Okay, cool. This is interesting."
in Alaska.
In Alaska, yeah.
Okay.
In the like handily bit right up against Canada.
Okay, what year was this decided in? I'm just imagining what's like the race science behind this.
Oh, this was like post World War II. It was like what to do with the refugees, basically.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be like I thought it was like 90s or whatever. Of like,
Yeah.
yes.
The plan was
the Jew likes it cold, so therefore.
The plan was to like they would have like a 50-year land lease, basically.
Okay.
And the story in the book is like that date is now approaching, and people are like, is this going to become its own country? Do we get to become its own state? Are we subsumed into Alaska? What the fuck happens here? It's really interesting. It's
like what the Soviet Union tried to with whatever.
The Jewish Autonomous Oblast.
Exactly. I forget the name of it.
But yeah, that's a really good one. But like a lot of like alt history is... So the two most common things that happen in alt history is what if the Nazis won and what if the South won in the American Civil War. And the what if the Nazi one verges from like just this very long lesson about like, here's why Nazism was bad. Like, here's what they fucking wanted. It's terrible. That's like usually the point of it. But the southern ones is always like,
this is cool.
This is weird. Look how kooky this is.
Yeah. That's one of the things that then I think that what's it called? What's the Amazon TV show from the Philip K.
Man in
Dick
the High
book?
Castle.
Man in the High Castle, the TV show, is so stupid because it tries to encapsulate how bad Nazism is.
Yeah.
But it just it melds perfectly together with the American worldview. That if you're watching it and you're like, wait, is this supposed to be like different than how the United States actually is? Like,
yeah,
it's really like I was sitting there and being like, are they trying to like sell this to Americans? Be like, ooh, look how spooky this is, because most Americans then in this fictitious world live how Americans do today, and like the genocide is just like right before their eyes. And we're like, no, well, shit. And I'm like, this is literally like how it is for most Americans anyway. Like, damn, like, locking up kids in cells up, fucking can't do anything about it. And it's like, in that TV show, there's like a scene where they're like, burning people or whatever. And there's like the smoke going by. It's like, oh, yep, fifth one this week or whatever. And it's like, the Americans already behave this way. So there's nothing. Like, if that's trying to scare me, then good job. But I don't think that's what was intended.
So I've actually watched a lot of interviews with the guys who are making it now, because they've now gone beyond the parameters of the book that it's based on.
The book's only like 150 pages.
Yeah, and it's Philip K. Dick, so it's mostly like a drug trip. But like, yeah, so they're in season 2 now, and the thing they're
season
saying...
3.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing they are saying that what they want to do, and I think they're like losing it a bit, is they're actually trying to draw parallels between like the supposed Nazi society and modern America, being like modern America's bad. It's not really out of step with what the Nazis want.
Okay, well then in that case, then they did that well then.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there being like, wait, is this supposed to then like they're trying to create like a horror story about Nazism, and the thing that then I found that's so horrific about it is that then how just normal the behavior is for them. Most Americans would like be perfectly happy within, you know, some form of like, you know, what the NSDAP was here.
Yeah, I think
as most Germans were.
I think
like,
the central thesis of that show that I think they've communicated quite well is like they do this very early on, but they do the whole thing like don't pretend like you wouldn't fucking go along with it all. Like they show the lives of like the open grouper Führer was like trying to fight the Nazis, and then when it happens, he's just like, "Yep, yeah, this is cool."
Which happens like quite often in history. Like,
yeah,
too,
exactly.
You know, like oh damn, like.
But then like I will not read any alt history about like what if the South won until like one black person writes that fucking story, because all of them are just like, this is kind of cool. I guess it would all be fine. And like they're all making so much money for some reason. I'm like, yeah, there's other good ones. The Years of Salt and Rice is also a really good story. It's about like what if the Black Plague killed all Europeans. And like Japan discovers America.
Yes.
It's the white genocide
Queen. We stand a plague.
Yeah.
So Kieran left us, but Yulia joined us. So that's a nice trade.
Hell yeah. You know that meme with the picture and then there's a little upgrade button and then it's the picture after?
Yeah. So
That's me. I'm the upgrade.
That's us talking about like fucking The Economist and then the upgrade button and then talking about Brazilian rapper. Well, what we're talking about isn't even, I would say it's not even like a change of the topic, because it is the yin to the yang.
hell
All
yeah.
right.
It is everything we've talked about The Economist.
I'm feeling spiritual right now.
There's
Daddy, so.
there's blue skies ahead. Capitalism is here to save us.
Beautiful.
Colonialism is here to save us.
Love it.
But
Hell yeah.
much like capitalism and liberal capitalism, while they want to say everything is good, there are contradictions that push it to a breaking point. And the way the Economist addresses those is by wilding out, darkly intoning about a possible future that could happen if we do not steel ourselves, if we do not safeguard our wonderful capitalistic world.
Gotta save capitalism.
And it gets dark. Like capital is basically like the Hulk or something, and you don't want to see it. Like you wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry.
So fascism, then, is
you
what
wouldn't want to see me.
avoid then.
You wouldn't want to see me
Well.
when I'm fascist. You wouldn't want to see me when I'm accumulating capital. And then he turns back into like, hey,
Hey,
there's
well,
new
actually,
apps in Africa. Yeah,
So primitive accumulation is the Hulk of capitalism.
basically.
Okay,
That's
cool.
what I was saying. The way this takes the form, what we just described, the Hulk of capitalism, the form that takes in Europe is the Russian threat.
We love and hate to see
Red
it.
Scare.
The Russian threat, basically Europe's like raison d'être, sorry I don't speak French, like its purpose of existing, what keeps it going as a vehicle is this idea that this precious liberal democracy that we have
Could be threatened.
is fragile and we have to defend it. And that's sort of like a projection of like the broader project of protecting capitalist interests. And oh boy, does The Economist darkly intone all the sunshine and rainbows about how the future is going to be great and dynamic. The future is
Fuck
going to
Russia.
fucking suck if you are not militarized and ready to face the Russian threat.
Okay, cool. Let's dive into this. I'm ready.
Yeah.
You want to do the full article first? I had a little appetizer first.
Okay, yeah. Like
All right.
I want
Go for it.
some hors d'oeuvres.
So the main article was one that just came out last week. So that's really the cutting edge of European psychosis. But this one is from 2015.
Okay.
Again, it's part of the World If series. And it's what if a NATO member comes under attack? How the West would recognize and respond to a Russian offensive from July 1st, 2015.
Wait. Hold on.
So this is shortly after the whole Crimea
Yeah.
invasion.
Yeah.
situation.
Okay, let's say one. Okay, cool. 2, NATO members have come under attack, but from other NATO members.
Or they attacked. Like, let's do Turkey, for example.
But yeah, like
What
Greece
about-
invaded. Like Greece
What
and
about
Turkey
a
have
NATO
like.
member attacking another country without being like even involved in the whole fucking conflict?
Well, no,
But
no,
just
that
because you
doesn't
want to
count,
fucking
though.
discriminate against Kurdish people.
Doesn't count though.
Guys.
Yeah, of course.
Guys.
Doesn't count. No, but I mean, like in all seriousness, though, that like they like the scenario that they're talking about has happened, but it's been between NATO nations, which is very weird
Okay,
because
basically what they imagine is like, just imagine you're the Baltics. just imagine you're Latvia. You have a border to Russia. And what you do, like, every fucking year is inviting the whole fucking NATO.
Come on over, boys.
Come over, boys. We have a nice party. We're going to try, like, some, like, military, I don't know, try how this works, like, at the border. And then say, like, oh, Russia is fucking aggressive. It's like...
Yo, I'm just like fucking here. My boys are fucking flying our B-52s, and you fucking see Russia here. Like, come on.
Exactly.
You know, they're fucking like
It's
you know.
just us having a nice party with all of, like, my NATO friends.
Yeah.
At
You
the
know,
border of...
Can you fucking believe it? Like, they asked me.
Russia shows up all the time at the fucking party. They're not invited.
Yeah, you know, I'm sitting here. My boys are fucking gaming over at our place, and Russia just keeps like knocking on the door, being like, "Can you turn the fucking music down? Like, I don't want this." And it's like, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, we're here. Like, you know, just you can't fuck with our lifestyle. You fucking commie bitch.
NATO means La Familia.
Yeah.
And Greece and Turkey are part of La Familia, so
Yeah.
fights between them don't count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Greece is Turkey, baby.
let's
is.
hear what the Economist has to say about this. I won't go through the whole article. This is just, again, a little appetizer
All right,
from 4 years ago.
hit me with that. Sweet
begins.
appetizer.
And I don't know if people know this, but everything in The Economist doesn't have a byline for who wrote it. So it's all like together. It's their
it's a
collective
collective?
statement.
Damn, the fucking
Oh,
Economist is
It's
so
like
cool.
fucking
Are they like a collector?
like Notre Dame football, no
Don't
numbers
they,
on the
I think
back.
these like what if articles. I think they actually like write them together. Like the editorial team does. The
I'm
whole
sure.
Maybe
I-
they sit together like we do.
They
and
all
they're
take
like, what
DMT
if?
and imagine a future. And what exactly? Just like
Joe
Elon.
Rogan writes all.
Yeah,
of
I
these.
was about
Well,
to say.
it's what's sad is just like how Elon Musk does acid, and then all I can think about is like, what if you made new shorts? Like that's his mind. Like that's his mind palace. It begins. Russia's aggression in Ukraine has given NATO both a new sense of purpose and a new kind of threat: hybrid warfare. The alliance's
Is it a
military
Linkin Park
analysts.
album?
Hybrid warfare. The best link.
The alliance's military analysts have been working on a, quote, detailed, granular, but secret plans for a range of crisis scenarios. First thing to say about that, when you say something is detailed and granular, that's what you say in like a bullshit like corporate meeting when you're talking about your plans. It's going to be really
We're trying to
granular.
integrate the
We're
synergy.
we're gonna have like a lot of granular analysis of this. So right off the bat, NATO fucking up. It does not inspire confidence that they have really good secret plans that they've done we've thought really long and hard about this. The overarching assumption is that Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, flushed by the success of annexing Crimea and prizing away Ukraine's Donbass region, moves on to something even more ambitious. His goal, to undermine NATO and the European Union. By concentrating his well-honed techniques of hybrid warfare on two Baltic states that share a land border with Russia, Latvia and Estonia.
Wait, what warfare is he doing?
Latvia and Estonia.
He's doing hybrid warfare.
What the fuck is that? They didn't even describe
Hybrid
it.
theory.
Oh, don't worry. Next sentence. Hybrid warfare brings together military and non-military instruments to discombobulate the target state. It sounds like muscle confusion.
I don't even know what that means.
You got to do squats and then run, and you confuse
Wait,
the
is that like
muscles.
high intensive interval training?
No, it's
Wait.
it's nonsense.
Okay.
That actually works.
Good.
Unlike Ukraine, the Baltic states are members of both the EU and NATO and are covered by the military alliance's commitment to collective security under Article 5 of the 1949 Washington Treaty that deems an attack on one as an attack on all. But this was conceived in an era when there was no doubt whether a country was under military attack or not. The big question is whether it is fit for purpose in dealing with 21st century Russian tactics, which use the ambiguity and deniability to make it harder to gauge whether an attack is really underway. Only once in NATO's 66-year history has Article 5 been invoked, after the attacks of September 11th, and at the time it was controversial whether this was a proper use of the alliance's
Fucking 9/11.
biggest
Yeah,
stick.
it's everywhere.
So we have a situation where Vladimir Putin, hell-bent on destabilizing Europe, the European Union
As
and
he
NATO.
should.
Oh my-
Like, respect the
Oh my
king where
god,
it's due.
seriously, like, this is just...
Here's his
Yeah.
game plan. Working to its they literally say that. Working to its established game plan, Russia starts by stirring up the resentment of, quote, Russians in Estonia and Latvia. In parentheses, by some reckoning, about a quarter of the population in both countries. bombarding them with propaganda about the discrimination they are supposedly subjected to.
Supposedly.
Using agents provocateur to foment pro-Russian demonstrations in the capitals, Russia does all it can to undermine the authorities in both countries.
So they're literally doing the fucking right-wing trope of like, yeah, you know, those fucking Black Lives Matter protesters are all paid by George Soros.
Yeah, oh my God.
Like,
Like, go on. Are you-
That's
Okay.
it, basically.
No, yeah, but seriously, like this situation. Oh, oh, this is as like layers. This has layers. All right.
do
So,
not knock that glass over, please.
oh fuck you.
Just to
First
give
of
you-
all, like there is a discrimination against like Russian people in the Baltics, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, especially, or like exclusively, not exclusively, but especially for people that are born there, are of Russian descent or anything, you know, moved there during the Soviet Union, speak Russian, didn't have to learn maybe the language because of the Soviet Union. At the same time, you have a lot of like Russians moving to the Baltics.
Because they got that sweet money they can go
They
buy,
have
yeah.
that sweet money, and it's not necessarily like, if you're very much about like free markets and shit like that, like if you're a fucking like asshole, libertarian
If you're the
asshole
Economist.
in Russia, and you don't have the ties you want to have, you probably want to have a bank account somewhere else or like some property somewhere else, you know, because like there was this arrangement between Putin and the oligarchs. Like he kind of like shut down everyone that wasn't in favor of it after like Yeltsin did his shit and Putin got in power. Like he used his force, his first term to kind of like, get rid of the mafia capitalism that you had in Russia, like in quotes, you know, and he kind of made a contract with oligarchs in Russia. If you're rich in Russia and you aren't on good terms with like einiges Russland, so with like Putin's power party,
Russia, yeah.
yeah, United Russia. Well, you better get your money out of Russia.
And you go to
Because
Latvia, and then you buy stuff in
You
Jomala.
go, yeah, you go to Jomala, you buy like a fucking villa or something like that, and have all your nice like condos at the coast.
Yeah, and they are the shock
yeah.
troops of the Russian invasion.
And that is
of
the
the
problem
EU.
because in the Baltics, like you have this discriminated against Russian population that has lived there since like the Soviet Union. And they all live like kind of like in Moscowskaya. I don't know, Moskovskaya Vorstadt. It's funny that it's
Like
called
Little
Vorstadt.
Moscow.
It's funny that it's called Vorstadt because that is a German name, and that is thanks to
The Nazis.
the Nazis, the Germans,
Yo,
the Baltic
like,
Germans,
You know,
lovely
we
people.
fucking hate the Nazis. We just, kept pretty much everything.
They didn't even write it like they didn't even spell it right.
They didn't?
No, they like it's written with an F instead of like a V. So like
That was
Vorstadt,
just, no,
like
no.
the
That was
Vorstadt-
the Nazis just like really appreciating other cultures. It's like, you're going to have German words,
Yeah,
but we're
but
going to make them
we can't
easier
spell it.
for you to
exactly.
say. So, who said that the Nazis were bad? Not Latvians, that's for damn
Oh,
sure.
Latvians fucking love the Nazis. They still march every fucking 15th of March.
I think we've
They
talked
march
about
on
this
15th
before
of
on the
March.
podcast.
Yeah,
haven't
whatever,
we?
it doesn't matter because it's
Yeah.
like very still out there. They celebrate like the former,
Occupation,
a volunteering like division.
who just also happened to be the SS.
Exactly. Yeah, those old guys still marching.
Oh
But
no, we
anyway,
talked about it when we were
I was-
talking about Lithuania, who has an exact same thing going
Yeah.
on, where they're all like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we love this like weird,
Yeah.
nationalist group that existed during
Yeah.
World War II." Ignore the fact that they were also, of the SS as well.
Yeah. So to get
I wonder why the communists murdered them. Like they're just national
I don't
heroes.
know. Just to get back to the point, yeah, you have like two kinds of Russians. That sounds weird, but two groups of like Russian people in the Baltics. One, it's like the group that has been there forever, like for like 50 years or longer. They're very much discriminated against. Very much live in like Moskovskaya Vorstadt or something like that. Like they live
They're
in
poor.
shitty houses.
They're poor.
They're
Yeah.
poor.
There's a class element to this.
Exactly.
Obviously. They're typically also
and-
the poorest people in Latvia.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's nothing like to like, it's not like the Latvian poor people are like poorer than the Russian poor people, whatever, but there is this group that is like discriminated against, and you have a government, especially in Latvia, that is very difficult to even get that recognition for a marginalized group like the Russians, because they say, oh, if you vote for Harmony, for example, then you are immediately like pro-Russia or something like that.
Hell yeah, baby.
Even though I know,
they're the only
like,
good party in Latvia.
Yeah.
Like, which is saying
Yeah,
a
seriously,
lot.
yeah. Even though they have a lot of scandals and shit like that, they are the only one that is not like neoliberal.
They're just social
Toxic
democrats. Like
waste.
they're actually just like general social democrats.
Yeah, they are.
They just also happen to be Russian.
And I had a student, and she, like, her parents were born in Russia, and you still have the situation of like non-citizens in the Baltics. So they don't have any fucking passport. They don't have any passport because their parents are born in Russia and they are raised in Latvia, for example, in Riga. And they kind of like have an like uncertain state of like, what's it called?
Citizenship?
Citizenship,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they are not Latvian, they're not Russian, they have to decide. Oh, you want to be Latvian? Okay, you do this like Einbürgerungstest. I don't know, like...
Citizenship test.
yeah, exactly. Like that every fucking German, for example, would fail in Germany if they would take it. And like they have such an uncertain like citizenship. They like aren't allowed to travel in Europe. They always have difficulties to go to Russia because even though your parents are Russian, you are like nothing.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, it's like you don't have any fucking citizenship. And this person, she wanted to be a doctor. She wanted to go to study in Germany. She's like, what is the situation? I don't have a passport. I was like, well, that sucks. Because you have to have like 8,000 euros on your fucking account to go to Germany if you're from Russia, but she isn't even from Russia. She's born in Latvia. She's born in Riga. She is like
The Economist says, supposedly subjected to.
Yeah. The thing I find that's so funny too with exactly the other side of the coin of the rich Russians who then flee Russia and go to who go to Latvia, who go to the Baltic nations.
but a nice villa.
yeah. Is that type of behavior the fucking economist probably loves. They're like, see, damn, look at fucking capitalism is action. Like, Russia, anti-democratic, illiberal democracy. Look, these people can fucking leave and they can, start their new lives thanks to capitalism and thanks to Europe and thanks to this. But of course they're like, they can't call their own bluff here because then that would make this entire worldview of theirs also false.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, seriously, they would fucking love what those Russians are doing because they.
How a band of Russian dissidents are bringing new dynamism to the Latvian economy.
Seriously. No, but exactly. I mean, this is like what they fucking should like celebrate, the Economists, because this is exactly. Like, those are probably, like, a lot of people that are going to Latvia because of capitalism, because they can't, because of state capitalism, business capture.
If you're rich.
Business
if you're
capture
poor,
business capture under Putin, for example.
If you're poor, a lot of Latvians who are Russian want to move back to Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's better job opportunities for them there.
Yeah.
So it's
But if you have money and you want to hide that money and you want to like do whatever you want to do to that money, I don't know what you want to do to that money or with that money.
I want to just bathe in it.
You would probably move somewhere else. You move to fucking Switzerland. You move to the UK.
It's too expensive. Come on.
To the you just go to fucking Latvia and build a nice villa at Jomala. Yeah, that's what.
The amount of fucking Gucci tracksuits I saw in Jomala.
Seriously, beautiful.
Yeah, is class. Like that's the next step up of Slavic culture. Just, fuck the Adidas tracksuit. I got fucking money. Here's my wife, who's 40 years younger than me. All of her friends, and just me, like a bald, fat Russian millionaire in a Gucci tracksuit. I saw literally that we saw that literally at a cafe.
I know.
Or a pizza place, or whatever.
I had that talk tonight at the party, like several times, about Russia having a lot of beautiful women and a lot of
old, fat, bald men.
Not a lot. That's the problem. There are not enough old.
There's not enough old, fat, bald men.
There's not a lot of men.
So that was just a little taste.
30 minutes later,
we're hitting a lot of our main themes. Everything is great in NATO. Stay out. There are no problems
Love
here.
it. Beautiful.
Anyone who wants to break up NATO is for some personal psychological reason. They have beef with the amazing Europe. And anyone
I do.
And anyone who won't support Europe is just also psychologically confused, as we'll get to.
I am. All these things describe me.
We're gonna.
I'm just a fucking mess. Thanks. The Economist knows me too well.
And the other wonderful, spice they add to this mix is America. I love when Europe's talk about America.
No one can see this, but I'm currently just saluting.
So two things we missed, or two things I skipped over rather, were the World If series did. The World If Hillary Clinton was president in 2015, which was just hilarious because she beats Marco Rubio, and then she introduces a new contract with the middle class. And then, in 2016, they had to do if Donald Trump was president. And it sucked because they did the thing that, to be fair, most people in 2016 did about Trump, where he's just first of all, that he has any fucking idea of what's happening around him, that he's actually going to try to I don't know, be strategic about how he attacks China rather than being just a big crying baby who will just do whatever, and that most of the US government is just run by this horde of a professional class that keeps cycling through DC. They don't really get into that in The Economist. They still lean back on this Donald Trump as this deals guy, as this kind of not evil mastermind, but just that he has any idea of what's going on, which is a fundamental misread of the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing that they love to do, and this is more in the context of Hillary Clinton, but that anytime, Hillary Clinton, for example, this is really alt history because they said she wanted to raise the minimum wage to $15. Okay. And she was criticized as bringing European values. And first of all, The Economist, let me just say, Americans don't think about you like that. The Americans are not thinking about you. Europe thinks it's a breakup, and they're they still think about me and our wonderful society. And America's more Hillary Clinton's fucking Pol Pot, all right? She's going to murder. That's really how conservatives in the U.S. talk about Democrats. No one's thinking about.
Wait. Back up. I don't think I was engaged enough. Did they actually think that Hillary Clinton was going to be this olive branch between Democrats and Republicans?
Seriously?
I'm quoting. Mrs. Clinton delighted Democrats by backing a rise in the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour and calling for working mothers to enjoy 2 months paid leave after giving birth or adopting a child.
These are nothing that she ran under.
Amid Republican cries that she would lead America down a European path to bankruptcy, few voters examined the contract's fine print. And the fine print is that Walmart will install automatic checkout counters and they'll lose 2 million jobs and Owned. Should have been more capitalist.
That's another topic though.
We can't get into it. We have to focus on the main article.
What the fuck is? Yeah, Rob, you're just.
The point is that they deeply misunderstand America and the EU. Well, they don't understand the EU. They are just carrying out their project of the EU. That we are just there's no tension or problems within our lovely harmonious society, and we have to steel ourselves against Russia and China and the US, these growing empires. And most
Especially
importantly,
Russia.
we need to be weaponized. The other thing we didn't really get into in the last article is they're saying we could have avoided all of this if we had nukes or something. If we were just properly engaged, if we recognized these hacking and this hybrid warfare for what it was, like I said, you wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry.
Here we go.
All right. It begins. If Europeans won't take American soybeans, they don't get American soldiers. America first. The tweet was dispatched by President Donald Trump in the early hours of April 5th, 2023, as he watched Fox and Friends, his favorite breakfast television show.
Wait, how is Trump still? Well, okay, never mind.
He
Is
won
Trump
re-election.
still president?
Is the important thing. This would be like peak election season, right? April 2023, because it's like, yeah,
But he'd be out of his term then at that point. Like
No.
he would be.
It would go
he
to
would be
2024.
dying
Maybe
down.
he changes
2024.
Yeah, exactly.
constitution.
So Pence would be ramping up to be the fucking next
sexy
person.
boy in chief.
It landed as officials in the foreign ministries of Paris, Berlin, and Warsaw were settling down for lunch.
Not Warsaw.
Yeah, why Poland?
Most rolled their eyes. The president had, after all, issued similar threats at each of the NATO summits after his narrow re-election in November 2020. At the alliance's gathering in Potsdam in 2021, Mr. Trump had unnerved fellow leaders by proposing that Russia join the alliance. Literally the worst thing you can suggest.
Oh no, Russia.
Russia should join NATO. The following year in Skopje, sorry, I don't know how to say it.
Skopje.
Skopje.
Yeah, no, Skopje. Yeah,
All right, just
Skopje.
edit in Julia's voice. Skopje.
the capital of
Macedonia.
Macedonia.
As the,
Fake Macedonia.
Greece.
Yeah. AKA
As-
Northern Macedonia. Yeah.
Southern Serbia.
Birthplace of Alexander the Great.
Keep going.
Sorry.
As the U.S.-EU trade war spiraled out of control, he had insisted that his chief trade negotiator accompany him to every meeting with allies in place of the Secretary of Defense. Despite that, 60,000 American troops remained scattered across the continent. That line's a classic orange American man dumb. There are troops in Europe. Did you even know that? Sir, do you even know that there are 60,000 of your troops in Europe, and yet you insult us?
They fucking love him.
That's classic stuff.
Like, oh, is Germany still under occupation of the U.S.?
Oh, you speak European over there, right?
It's like some Reichsbürger stuff, kind of.
Yet it quickly became apparent that Mr. Trump's latest tweet was not just another shot across the bow. Within hours of his broadside, couriers from the State Department began delivering letters to the embassies of all 29 NATO members across Washington, D.C., each one signed by Jared Kushner, Mr. Trump's son-in-law and Secretary of State, was a notice of denunciation, giving the requisite year's notice of America's intention to quit the alliance.
How did Mike Pompeo step down?
How did Kushner get that job?
Europeans are very scared of Jared's raw sexual energy. They saw that one photo of him
Definitely.
in those short
They were like,
shorts, and they're all like, oh,
shit.
God,
Hell yeah.
this is the worst thing
Definitely.
that can happen. So what we got so far is the doomsday scenario. And I'm kind of reading it in a dramatic voice, but that's just how it's written. They're like, it's the end of the fucking world. Both chambers of Congress roundly condemned the decision the next day. But Mr. Trump made it clear that he would ignore this unconstitutional effort to overturn his decision. I'm the commander-in-chief, he said, flanked by queasy-looking generals on each side of his desk. All right.
Whoa, they're disrespecting the generals here.
No, this is where it goes off the rails. This is the most lib bullshit I have ever heard, where the generals are the resistance. The generals are going to be mad at Trump
Seriously?
for like pulling out of NATO or something. Really? I'm sure the generals love that shit. They're just going to be like, sir, I will support you to the end. We will have more flexibility for our 9th wave attack on Iran.
Yeah, literally.
Thank you.
A lot of conservatives,
Exactly.
A lot of conservatives don't like NATO because it does exactly that.
Because you don't have to ask anyone if you want to invade
you don't have
the
to
country.
anyway, but they
yeah,
just-
I know. Like
thing-
Britain will accept it, but
Yeah, well, the thing NATO, the only thing that then conservatives don't like about it is that no one else fucking pulls their fair share of the weight, and the U.S. is the only one who then meets the U.S. and one other country. I forget, maybe Turkey, I think, who then meet the 2% GDP.
well,
Maybe-
good that we
maybe
have von der
UK.
Leyen.
Huh?
Good that we had von der Leyen.
Germany still didn't
She
meet the
stepped
2%.
stepped up. Our
What I love
army
about
game
this-
for just meeting the expectation that Trump said, Germany should put some money in their military.
because
Oh, yeah,
NATO has,
she'll come up.
NATO has the thing, yeah. So the 2% of your GDP in relation to GDP has to be spent on NATO, and only the U.S., which is at 3.2%, and Turkey, which is at 2.1%, if I'm not mistaken,
Of course,
are the only two countries that do it. So who are the real friends here?
Turkey.
I just
Yeah.
love they just reveal their peak lib energy that everyone is also secretly against Trump also. Nancy Pelosi is actually an agent on the inside doing epic clapbacks, literal clapbacks against Trump, and apparently the generals are too. as if these people aren't just like they're all right. First thing we have to back up and say, Trump is barely like in charge in the way the economists say. They literally take shit off his desk that he signed and throw it in the trash, and Trump forgets about it. Like, we need to emphasize this. So like Trump can't like leave NATO if like the army doesn't want to do it, and I'm sure they want to do it, and Trump is just like, we had to leave NATO because our generals are hotter. The Europeans, they're not hot enough. We have the hottest generals. They're jealous. They're jealous of our generals. Like, that is how it is. And then you have that, and you have Trump, who just is saying that. And the other half of the administration are evangelicals who actually want to bring about the end of the world, so that's why they need to do the 9th invasion of Iran. And then the other half are just like drones who are like, just climbing up the ladder here in D.C. This is what I got to do.
Like actual drones.
They could be.
Just some drones hanging out.
But like the Economist, like this is where it's already going off the rails. The Economist's idea that this is how it works, that Trump...
Do a movie like B-movie, but it's just drones.
Well, actually,
B movie, but every time a drone kills someone, it goes faster. Anyway, I just get fucking mad about that,
rightfully so.
and I'm just jealous that Trump gets to hang out with the hot generals.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
All right, keep going.
everyone likes a guy in uniform.
We're not going to be ripped off by the world anymore. Though the Pentagon calculated it would take 5 years to extract every soldier, sailor, and pilot, the accretion of 8 decades of Pax Americana, Mr. Trump demanded that 10,000 be brought home by Thanksgiving in November. Just classic Trump dumb. Should listen to the Pentagon. Whatever bullshit.
I always listen to the Pentagon whenever I do anything.
I love the Thanksgiving
The Economist
trope.
fucking loves listening to the Pentagon. Europeans had imagined this possibility, but the shock came at a delicate moment. 3 months earlier, in January 2023, as fighting escalated in eastern Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin had announced the creation of the Federal Union of Russian and Belarus.
Oh, shit!
Fuck yeah!
No!
King!
Bullshit! Bullshit! They
Mr.
finally
Putin
joined.
declared that though he had anticipated a retirement of judo and fishing,
yeah.
he would reluctantly, and by popular demand, assume the presidency of the new country.
Actually, that is what he does, actually.
It's-
Because, like, for a second term, he didn't run. He just, like, went to a factory, and, like, all the workers were like, yeah, we like this guy. And then he humbly took the new nomination of, like, running for a third term. So, no, seriously, he does that. So,
I can't do a Russian accent, so imagine this isn't a Russian accent.
okay.
Yeah, I want to thank Corner Späti for inviting me to be on their podcast. I really look forward to being the fifth mic,
Russia,
but my country needs me.
Sorry.
I am so sorry. I was offered by Gordon Späti to become...
Oh, that is a nice Russian accent.
I respect the work that you do as Russian PsyOps. I am so sorry. I have to decline. I am needed back in Russia to lead unwillingly my people.
Because I really don't want to
I
do
don't
that.
want to,
but,
trust me. I
but
do not want to
just
become
have
president
to,
again.
Because it's
I can't rest until Europe is destroyed.
Молодец, отлично, спасибо большое.
Well, thank you, Vladimir Putin, for coming by the Corner Späti. We loved having you here.
Hundreds of Russia's Armada tanks had already trundled to the Union's new western border,
Yes.
just 200 kilometers from Warsaw.
Yeah, fucking Red Alert, like fucking 2 over here, whatever. You never played those games?
No.
Oh, Red Alert 2 is really cool and super
Probably it wasn't
reactionary.
out in Germany.
Well, Red
I
Alert
don't know.
1 as well, but I
It
never...
sounds like something American.
Yeah, so in Red Alert 2, like, you invade the United... Like, your very first campaign is that you invade the United States and destroy the Pentagon.
Oh,
Fucking cool.
Nice.
So it seems like a bad situation, right?
No, it seems fucking cool. Keep going.
Well, maybe if the EU had the EU is properly militarized and they have a giant military,
in a matter of, what, 3 years?
of course, so they'll be ready to defend this.
Wait, do we have an EU army at that point?
We're
Like-
gonna find out.
So this is like a motherfucking, like, all right, so what we're getting to is, like,
Is this utopia?
They better have done an EU army. I mean, what kind of idiot wouldn't have made an EU
mean-
army before Russia invades
Yeah.
Belarus?
If von der Leyen is EU commissioner,
okay, so
we
von
totally
der Leyen
got
is
to
literally,
that
okay,
point.
sorry, we have to go back to fucking normie-ass Star Wars references again. But
But-
this is like, von der Leyen is
For
like...
democracy?
Yeah, literally is like already created like her fucking clone army.
Oh shit!
And it's like, oh, hey, by the way, guys, like, maybe we should make a
Did we
fucking...
used to be the Republic and now we're like fucking
No, you're...
empire?
Well,
of
we don't know
EU?
that yet.
Nice.
And then fucking, yeah. So she, like, this is what that's getting to, is that then, like, oh, by the way, like, you know, thank goodness that then the EU made a deal with Camino to fucking make a clone army.
The anti-Deutsch are the Jedi. I'm not reading replies. When European leaders gathered at an emergency summit in Brussels, days after Mr. Trump's bombshell.
Sorry, this is all now just going into Star Wars talk now. So they're all, yeah.
Yeah, they're all in that like big open room where they're all sitting one in a chair, and Yoda is like, disturbing this is. Whatever. The solution seems simple enough. NATO's 29 remaining members would regroup and marshal their defenses without America. The EU had, after all, been steeling itself for this era. It had launched the European Defence Fund in 2016, which had grown from 13 billion to more than 30 billion. Permanent Structured Cooperation, PESCO, a scheme of joint arms production and defense integration, had followed in 2017. PESCO had already yielded a world-beating Eurodrone, battle-tested in the Sahel. Sahel? Sorry, I don't know how to say it.
Seychelles?
No, okay. Let's go through this one by one. I don't know if you ever heard the term Sahel. It's like the region like where the Sahara turns into like not desert. This whole strip.
Yeah.
Do people actually say that, or is this like an old British colonialist?
I think it's an old British.
Yeah. So the Economist is saying that there's a Eurodrone has been battle tested in this region.
So murdering innocent
just murdering
people.
like Bedouin and like that.
So this means a few things. It means Germany's still in Mali in 2024. I guess the US is still in Niger doing whatever the hell they're doing in Niger. And yeah, it just
we're all in Djibouti for whatever reason that has like the highest concentration of bases in the world.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so just murder, just bombing weddings again and again counts as being in a battle. Yeah. Like it works really well then.
Oh, it was a nice drone.
We show Yulia missed this, but I showed Nick and Kieran the unveiling of the Eurodrone here at Schönefeld Airport earlier this year. Glorious. I'm joking. It looks like. I don't know if you saw in the news, there was this $200 million drone that was shot down by the Iranians. And then America's like, that was $200 million. And it's like, well, you fucked up by putting $200 million in a fucking drone. Like, seriously? Like, that's a waste of money.
I was getting the feeling that like drones half the time look like cartoon airplanes.
Well,
it's just a complicated
they're more
paper
worth
airplane.
than any fucking life they take out.
So just
that was $200 million. Like, what are you talking about, Yulia? Like, you know, you fucking strike down my drone. You strike down all my drones.
Just to summarize, if it wasn't clear, we are currently in 2019, and the European Defence Fund and PESCO both do exist now.
Yeah.
And from the people in Europe, like the Economists, they are very giddy that this is the coming EU army that's going to be dominated by France or Germany. And if you're the hard Brexit right in the UK, this is the return of German fascism. Yeah. Apparently, I read Germany's getting 21 Eurodrones. That's cool. And yeah, it's a joint project between Germany, France, Italy, and Spain.
Oh, that sounds like a
the
great
core.
All these countries have really cool records.
Yeah, we have like some fascism in all of these countries. Like, okay, is it France? Like, is it northern France, or is it just Vichy and south?
We don't know.
Like, seriously.
To be sure, this was not an EU army, but it certainly laid the groundwork for one. At a press conference after the leaders' emergency summit, Angela Merkel, president of the European Council, urged calm and pointed out that Europe's collective defense spending was more than 4 times that of Russia.
I was imagining her saying this just shaking like nonstop.
Oh my god, I was about to. Oh my god, I thought that joke would be too bad. Oh, you went through that. Shit. Like I was thinking about that, and I thought like I can't make that joke, but. Yeah.
Like this fucking high-tech music
Fair
playing
enough.
in the background, and she's just like...
Oh my god. Fuck you guys.
Oh, did we
It's
fucking...
funny, no, it's
did
funny.
we fucking just like hit a nerve?
No, it's
With
funny.
Germans?
No, fuck you.
How
No,
dare you
no.
disrespect
Hey,
my queen?
yeah,
You know, I don't
yeah,
like
you-
her. I disagree with her, but you can't make
But-
fun of her fucking
but-
shaking.
No, you can. You can definitely.
She's
but
still my queen.
Angela Merkel, Queen of EU, Slayer of Greeks.
Europe is a sleeping giant, agreed President Emmanuel Macron of France. Still out here.
Still, wait.
Did he quote fucking?
Wait, don't they have like a limit on how many times you can get? Are we in 2019?
2024 is.
Oh yeah, he can't. Can he? I
No,
don't
he
know.
could. Yeah, it would be.
No, 2023
Yeah,
actually.
like a French
But it's
Revolution.
certainly maybe he's just president. Maybe he's the third.
Maybe it's an idle
emperor.
revolution, and everyone is getting like.
I think they just like didn't want to imagine a world without him, so they're just like, yeah, he'll
because he's
figure
cute
it out.
and still young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
well,
taking.
when he says Europe is our sleeping giant and we quote, we must realize our own strength. Like the Economist obviously is writing as the European Union. So it just sounds like, I'm a sleeping giant. My wonderful boyfriend said like, he realizes my strength and you're like, we can take on Russia. We
But
can
I like
do
how they
this.
just used the quote from what's his name, the Japanese admiral during World War II, that the U.S. is a sleeping giant. Like context, you
Again.
didn't really fucking think that one over.
Well, I think they exactly thought it over because what happened after World War II? America was the empire of the world, and that's what the EU wants for itself. After
True.
being, once they conquer the Russian threat, if we have an EU army to properly counter the Russian threat, then we
Finally.
will take our rightful place on top of the world as a unified Europe.
Good.
Hopefully, no one fucks this up. In practice, things were not so simple. The EU had hoped to slip effortlessly into the ready-made NATO institutions left vacant by America. That plan was, however, unexpectedly vetoed by Turkey, a member of NATO, but not the EU.
Damn, I'm
Fuck.
actually
So-
standing Turkey right now. Good
so
job,
Turkey's
guys.
still not a member of the E EU.
Turkey's relations with Europe had taken a sharp downward turn in 2022 after President Recep
But only
Tayyip
20
Erdogan's cancellation of elections and declaration of emergency rule.
Oh, what if? No,
Yeah,
but-
yeah. It takes till 2022 for him to do that shit.
Oh, as if. Seriously. So wait, Erdogan is still in power. Putin is still in power. Angela Merkel
Well,
is still
that's
in power?
honestly the saddest thing about all of this because they can't imagine a different future. Like,
Yeah,
imagine if you're in
seriously.
20. Like, we watched this video from 2012 and they don't talk about climate change or anything. It's just like, yep, the world's just
Nice.
2050. It's just going to be population changes.
Looks like this, but
It's
different,
like
but
it's like today, but a little further. Like they're
Yeah.
just simming to get further in
like
the world.
seriously, we are already working at our institute.
President is president for life.
Well,
Yeah.
I saved the juiciest line for you. to
We
come back.
we already like going at our institute like reimagining like imagining Russia after Putin.
I'm imagining Russia like right now.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Back to Erdogan. He relished thwarting the club that had denied him entry.
Cool.
Wait, so is this actually a piece about Turkey not being allowed to join the EU?
Well, what my read is just like just like the Putin invading Latvia, just because he's a mean guy who hates Europe.
Such a mean
It's
guy.
again Erdogan. It's like Harry Potter shit. Erdogan just hates Europe.
It's like Voldemort, but
And he was
two
just
times.
spurt-
One
yeah.
is Turkish Voldemort, the other one
It's
is
like a
Russian
bad.
Voldemort.
It's like a bad story where it's like Erdogan was always kicked out of the club, and now
What
he's going to
did
get his
J.K.
revenge.
Rowling tweet about that in 20?
Yeah, J.K. Rowling, Prime Minister of the UK.
Seriously.
Okay,
Oh God, I don't know what to.
there's only one.
What a
thing.
childish view of the world you have to have as a liberal. My goodness, like
This is
This
the
is
greatest
fan
paper
fiction.
in the
This
entire
is
world.
liberal.
Literally,
fan
yeah, this is just
fiction.
fucking fan
This is- yeah,
fiction.
seriously. If Macron and Merkel didn't have sex, okay, that would be more interesting. Fan fiction.
Oh,
But
guys,
it's basically.
guys, there's definitely Macron, Merkel fan.
Oh, there is. Yeah, I don't want to Google
sex.
it. There's
And we're going to read
yeah,
it live on the
yeah.
show.
Oh shit, we should. Like when I googled the B
For next
movie,
week.
oh God, yeah.
Can we read it with the DM people?
like she wants a B. Best title ever. No, but seriously, this reads like is this supposed to be like serious journalism or something like that?
No, it's the Economist. Of course it isn't.
But it reads like a fucking fan fiction about. Like,
Imagine how many like fucking people went to dinner parties after reading this and being like thought they were fucking so smart. Like,
Yep.
oh, I saw a window into the future.
Oh yeah, awesome. What if?
Yeah, these are the same people in 2015 who, after
What if
reading,
all my fucking best friends got together and just like wanted to do cool shit in Europe? All right, like,
well,
It's like it's also like kind of like what they criticize a lot. Like there's like a code of personality, etc. And they do like exactly that. They have like Angela Merkel is still there, Putin is still there, Erdogan is still there. They're all.
well, they don't like the last two, but they fucking like. Oh my God, do not even get me started about every article about like Macron from the from the Economist.
Yeah, Macron, by the way, maybe might be king of Europe. by that time.
Julia missed this, but they did have a what if Macron. All the jobs came back and everything was great in France. And there's the quote of the once declining banlieues are now on the up and up.
Oh, seriously.
Just everything is going to be great.
Yeah.
What
But
is they
guys,
just imagine
this
stuff.
is a sad article. The world's going to end because we didn't have an EU army.
Okay.
Allow me to
Going.
continue.
Because we didn't let Turkey join the EU.
Because Turkey fucked it up. Not only
Yeah.
Turkey though. There are maybe
No, we fucked it up, but
there are the
not letting them
others,
join.
but there are subversives within Europe.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
By the summer of 2023, after months of wrangling, EU leaders agreed to establish a new European treaty organization, building on the EU's embryonic military bodies. The learning curve was steep. Without the cocoon of NATO's bureaucracy and procedures, everyday military tasks became harder. States were reluctant to share intelligence because Russian hackers had long ago penetrated the EU's communication networks, which had been designed to carry information on fishing quotas rather than delicate war plans.
sorry.
I think that's a not too subtle jab that the EU's just been fucking around and talking about fishing instead of doing important
about
things
fish all
like
the
world
time.
domination.
Yeah, seriously.
They're supposed to be a fucking empire. A common
Just
joke
talk
in
about
Brussels was that the EU's intelligence school in Nicosia, how do you say it? Run by Greece and Cyprus,
Yeah, Nicosia, yeah.
had trained more Russian spies than European ones.
That actually, like, in all fairness,
Could be a fact.
could definitely be true because Greece is just, like, always had a history of just, like, kind of... Well, no, like, a lot of the people within, like, the, like the Kurdish separatist movement were all trained in Greece.
Seriously?
Yeah, a lot of them were, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Fun fact.
All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. America's gone. Britain had crashed out of the EU in acrimonious circumstances. We'll get to that. Germany was the continent's largest military spender. France agreed on the condition the ETO's military command be moved to Versailles, the site of NATO's original 1950s headquarters. Italian, Spanish, Polish, and Dutch generals were handed senior posts. Yet it was a struggle to claim leadership of a hologram, as General Sir Richard Barrons, former commander of Britain's joint forces, noted wryly at the time. The first post-American
name?
assessment, Richard Barrons, and he's actually a real person.
I know he is, but Sir Richard Barrons?
Yeah.
What a lame-ass sounding name.
The Economist is just like, what if we had an old British person wryly note something? That's
True. That happens.
good fiction.
Yeah.
They do be wryly noting things. And it goes on about how, last year I could count on getting an armored division, at least 2 aircraft carriers, and over a dozen nuclear submarines from across the Atlantic. America, General Schmidt observed, had provided the bulk of NATO's air and missile defenses, the lion's share of intelligence and surveillance assets needed to see across the modern battlefield, most of the tankers needed to refuel warplanes, and the logistics to move everything across the continent quickly. It would, he said, take at least $300 billion to fill these holes. So the EU just needs $300 billion, and then they can have world domination and beat back Russia.
I bet that they'll get that money very quickly, but they can't use money like that to then,
The EU's estrangement from Britain deepened the problem. Britain had made up a quarter of the bloc's total military spending before its disorderly departure. Britain's Prime Minister, Jeremy Corbyn,
Pimp! Woo, woo, woo!
Yay! At least we have like some utopia in
it.
this dystopia.
He's
had refused to sign up to the new alliance.
good.
The time for such
Yeah.
power politics was over, he declared. I agree, but as The Economist is framing it, is that Jeremy Corbyn could save the world from Russia, but he's, fucking gardening or something, too busy providing for basic human welfare, and he won't face reality that Russia, the Asiatic hordes, are invading us.
Oh, so we're back at that topic.
The ETO also faced a thorny nuclear gap.
I mean, that's like basically the fear of Russia, of the hordes, like the golden horde coming back. This time it's Europe.
The Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, which banned mid-range American and Russian missiles, had collapsed in 2019. That did happen earlier this year. The New START Treaty, which covered longer-range missiles, crumbled in 2021, when both America and Russia refused to renew it. Russia's nuclear arsenal ballooned, including hundreds of new SSC-8 cruise missiles that could reach European capitals in minutes. America countered by placing new conventional missiles in Poland. Uh-oh. Yet by the middle of May 2023, America had whisked away not only these, but also the 180 tactical nuclear bombs it had kept in Europe for decades. Their departure was announced only after the last one had left Büchel Air Base in Germany. No longer will we put New York or Los Angeles at risk of annihilation for the sake of European countries that drain our economy, declared Stephen Miller, Mr. Trump's national security advisor.
Oh, hell yeah. Stephen Miller's coming up.
The bombs, he said, would be shifted to South Korea and Japan, an implicit reward for the trade deals they had signed with America the previous year. We're getting some real European minds that jump out here. So when you're overly reliant on America, they're going to go stab you in the back and go with their new squeeze, South Korea and Japan. And then Europe is just going to get taken advantage of.
You hate to see it happen.
Europe was torn. A growing anti-nuclear movement cheered the departure of American weapons of mass destruction. But leaders were nervous. What if Mr. Putin, now ensconced deep in Belarus, grabbed a chunk of Poland and then threatened to use nuclear weapons if ETO counterattacked? North Korea's missiles could now comfortably reach all of Europe, and Iran had also revived its nuclear program. Europe was dangerously vulnerable to nuclear blackmail.
The fuck is this?
Fucking psychosis. One proposal was a Euro nuke. The European Commission would fund half of France's nuclear weapons program in exchange for shared ownership and control. Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer, I've actually never said her full name, AKK, yeah. Mrs. Merkel's successor as German chancellor, was said to have praised the plan in private, but it was quickly rebuffed by Mr. Macron. The Republic's strategic deterrent he pronounced as neither for sale nor rent. They eventually agreed to include the nuclear weapons to share among Europe. Few, however, believed that even the ardently Europhile French president would really exchange Paris for Podgorica. Rumors swirled that Sweden, Poland, and others had started clandestine work toward nuclear weapons of their own. As the year turned, things came off the rails. In January 2024, Italy's parliament dramatically refused to ratify the alliance, with populist parties on left and right clubbing together.
What populist party on the left?
Apparently there's going to be one by 2024.
Okay, cool.
There has to be one because they have to have the left and the right. So let's... I don't know if you're keeping track at home, but we need to keep a track of the list of the traitors who betrayed the wonderful European project. Okay, so we have Erdogan, Turkey, Greece. We have Corbyn, we have Trump, of course. Yeah. We have left populists. We have the anti-nuclear movement. That was very subtly tossed in there, you know.
Greta Thunberg is also...
yeah, Greta Thunberg. We have President of Sweden. Greece and Spain followed weeks later. In Montenegro and Macedonia, coups brought to power pro-Russian governments.
Oh, wait, what?
Which promptly pulled out two.
Well, it is actually Macedonia and what, Serbia? Montenegro. Ah, interesting, Montenegro. Okay. France, that's no surprise.
France and Germany desperately tried to hold the ETO together. Again, the parents just trying to hold together this family.
Wait, does Germany also have a coup?
Ms. Kramp-Karrenbauer even pledged that Germany would spend 2.5% of its GDP on defense, a plan that would make it the world's third largest military power after America and China by 2030. Even so, others began hedging their bets. The Nordic countries agreed a tight-knit defensive pact, the Kalmar Agreement, and invited Britain to join on equal terms. Poland, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria signed their own deal, the Metternich Pact, in February 2024. First of all, why the fuck would they call it the Metternich Pact? It's not Austria, and they don't fucking care about Metternich. They pointed to the trouble brewing in Ukraine and Belarus. Left unsaid was their anxiety over the breakneck pace of German armament to the west. Weeks later, Italy formed its own Adriatic alliance, focused on beating back migration from North Africa. Mr. Trump's own assessment, tweeted from the third hole of the Trump International Golf Club in Florida, was curt. Europe wanted to build its own army instead of paying its dues to NATO. How did that work out for them? That's it. That's the whole article.
All right, I don't know how to fully go along with this because this is too much.
That was the end of the world, if you couldn't tell. Everyone's just going to blow each other up while Trump is golfing.
One, cool. I like that level of imagination that they had. That was that. I literally I feel like I'm yeah. It feels like you're it's so reactionary that it just seems like the beginning of a video game or something like that. Like it really does. Like just that it was some really, clunky written plot for a really stupid fucking video game about how you have to like, defeat Russia. Whether it be like fucking Call of Duty or like, whatever, but it's so stupid.
Yeah, since the Mali advertisement campaign for the Bundeswehr didn't pan out, they're going to make this video game where you have to kill Russia.
Yeah, like I don't know any other way really like to see it. And then they try to like, make it smart by, adding people's names into it. Like,
yeah. Well, they do that too in all their articles. They're just like, and then Hillary Clinton nominated so-and-so to be Secretary of Defense. And it's just some fucking drone in DC.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I guess that's colorful writing. The thing to remember about all of this is that this is sandwiched side by side with all of these. What if women got apps or something? What if the world was run on blockchain? Like it's inseparable. This like yin and yang is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like you have this like capitalism's great. Everything's going to be like there are so many investment opportunities and like everything's on the up and up. And then at the same time, there's just because there is like they can't actually like address or confront the actual contradictions of capitalism. So it is like some fucking French people said, schizophrenia. Like at the same time, you have this, and then this Russian threat that's bearing down on you, and they're just right next to each other in your lovely Economist, side by side on 2 different pages.
And I mean, it really just encompasses like their whole like that paper, that publication, just perfectly, because you can't. I think that the one like the realization is that then. To them is that capitalism is fine, great, perfect, and all this other kind of maybe not perfect, but it's the best that we got.
They don't even say it's the best we got because there's no other option. It's just
because they're in this like end of history mentality.
It's like walking outside and being like, the sun sure is shining today. Yeah. Like, that's what they just say about everything.
Yeah, but then also there is like they always like pride themselves about like being like liberal or maybe like more on like a libertarian side of things, but in the end. They just cozy right back up to the thing that props capitalism up perfectly, which is just like, militarism, imperialism, colonialism, whatever the fuck you want to then call it. But they're also like, that's the thing I kind of like about The Economist is that they don't try to then give you this like libertarian worldview of it. Like they kind of acknowledge like, yeah, like, I like this, but I'll fucking die for this if I have to. So it is, I think, a more honest view of like the liberal world, and it's not tainted by like American liberalisms. Like, you got to be a good person. Like The Economist doesn't have that. Like they think that they are because they believe in markets, but all in all, like the thing that matters most to them is the preservation of markets and the preservation of then the liberal order in quotes, So, like, that's... I don't see this type of article... You couldn't have this article come from, like, the Washington Post or, like, like an American thing, because they always have to pretend that then, like, they're anti-Trump, and 2, that then, like, everything would have been so much better if, Hillary was in power and shit like this, But, like... None of them even like remotely question the idea that like NATO couldn't exist or whatever, which it shouldn't. But yeah, European mindset, baby.
I'm honestly exhausted.
Yeah,
that was a lot to take in. I feel like I just opened the fucking what's it called? At the end of Indiana Jones, my face melted.
Oh, the Holy Grail.
Yeah. No, it's in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to find the Holy Grail.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, exactly. All right, just cut all that out. Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts?
I'm mad there wasn't any China mentioned.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what? I guess if because other articles they'll be like, China's going to take over the world. Like, they're just like, and also if our warm up article was about the fact that I guess like the invasion, the spear point, like the Belgium in World War III is going to be Latvia and Estonia, and they just weren't even mentioned once in this other one.
Yeah,
it's all just whipping themselves up into a fervor about
What was the one that they
the world's
cared
going to be
about?
exactly the same as it is now. Iran is still just getting its nuclear program again.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change. There'll be no revolutions. There'll be no history happening.
Well, maybe, but in like countries that don't matter for you, unless they're already like militarily in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it, you know.
Can we end with more Nazi Swedish bands again? That was a nice little.
Ace of Base or what?
Can we listen to some MC Kevin?
MC Cavino or whatever it was.
Cavino.
Cavino.
Come on.
Kevino.
He was cool. I really liked him.
Oh, can we make his face the episode picture?
If you want to, you can do that. I don't fucking care. But yeah, so that was this week.
That's everything you need to know about the EU Army.
Yeah.
So anytime you hear anyone mention the EU Army, just
unless
remember,
it's me talking about the true EU Army that is, that needs to be built.
Nick just submitted his own version to the Economist of the world and it's if we have an EU Army, and it's Slovakia being the spear point to
It's
unify
fucking
Europe
sick.
and invade Russia.
It's gonna be fucking sick. What if 2024 was it? We're building communism in Europe. The world if. That's the world I want to imagine.
And it's 2090, and Slovakia is the lingua franca of Europe. And some podcaster, the future Nick, is going to be like, yeah, well, why would you even learn Russian? Everyone speaks Slovakian. Russian's dumb language.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. Whoever you are in the future.
Love Slovakia.
I love you already, comrade, because, you probably live in socialism. Or in fascist hell, but still, nonetheless, you're doing the good fight.
Whatever you're fighting for, I'm sure it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was this week, and we will, see you, I guess, next time, probably, cry about the,
I'm going to stop reading depressing things.
No, it's fine. You should keep reading them. I like them. But I just feel like just drained and stupid after it. More
Yeah.
stupid than I did
It's also because it
before.
got dark outside. It looks like it's going to rain.
Well, that's because, Europe is sad, baby. But, yeah. All right. Bye.
Peace.
Yeah, so go on to your theory about
Okay.
Kevin's.
Kevin.
So I tried to tell Nick and Kieran about this, but they didn't appreciate it. So
I
I'm happy
appreciated
to-
it, but
no,
I
you
just-
appreciated it, but
But I'm not German, so I didn't fully appreciate
exactly.
it.
And I'm not German, so I don't fully understand the phenomenon. So that's why I have to ask Yulia. So
Yeah.
Yulia, can you explain the phenomenon of a Kevin in German society?
Yeah, Kevins are mostly discriminated against because of their names. A Kevin is a guy that is really dumb. There was actually a study, I think, about that.
Study of Kevins? Also, that's just the most German thing I've heard. Just a study about everything,
Yeah.
even the name Kevin.
There was a study about teachers being biased because of names that children have, and especially a Kevin. You're not.
Interesting.
You're,
And how did the red shoes figure in?
I don't know, but I think that was a thing a few years ago when everyone started to wear those completely red shoes, the sneakers.
I do not know.
yeah.
Yeah,
those-
the Kanye's thing.
Yeah, so
Was
there
it?
was
Was it Kanye?
there were this Germany shoe trends as
Yeah.
the obviously as the sneakerhead of corner Späti. I liked Rob's theory. I liked that Germany doesn't like red shoes because they never got onto the Yeezy Octobers or the Red Octobers.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
theory.
so you guys fucking stupid. Red shoes were cool, but they're no longer cool anymore. But there was a weird trend of these Nike Air Maxes.
yeah.
The Air Max
The high tops.
90s?
I
No.
don't know.
They weren't. No. It was-
I have red high tops.
Yeah, yours.
Oh,
you,
you're
yeah,
Kevin?
They're cool.
Well, we're going to get to that. I want to be a Kevin.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. There's this weird trend of all these kids wearing these red,
Yeah, there was
just
a
one
trend,
color
yeah.
Nikes, and
But,
they looked like shit.
It was just red, all of it, the laces. Were
Yeah, everything was red,
was
and they also came in bright orange and bright yellow too.
Seriously, I would have worn those.
No, but they're
I only saw the red ones.
The bright orange ones went on sale because they never
I
sold
want
any of them.
orange and yellow ones. Seriously,
Okay.
I haven't seen them.
Yulia's gonna start wearing Air Maxes.
Yeah,
Okay, but I didn't know this
I feel like a
teacher.
loser
I-
if they actually have some Air Maxes.
I have a pair of Air Maxes.
I didn't-
You know the kids version. I have.
No, those are Air Force Ones.
Oh,
Which Air Force Ones are sick.
shit. Yeah, sorry.
Confirm
I
not
don't know
hypebeast.
my sneakers.
Get out of here.
Yeah, they're there and they look good.
I didn't understand the teacher aspect. So when I hear about Kevins, it's sort of like the stereotype I understood was maybe like a normie, or as the Germans would say, Assi guy who's dumb and just, yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got.
Yeah, it's really weird because like Kevins are associated with like being dumb and shit. It's like what I said, a Justin.
So any like,
It's like, yeah,
I don't know, like
especially
newish
comes
American name.
Yeah, but it especially comes from like the eastern part of Germany. And it was like, yeah, when the wall fell, it was like, let's give our kids the most American name that we can find. It's Justin. He's a Justin.
Okay, George Washington Müller.
Yeah, seriously, maybe.
Freedom is being able to name your son like Brent or something. Or Hunter. Does Hunter count?
Oh, ew.
Hunter.
Okay, so would you say that the Kevin is like a good person or like a rude person? I'm saying
I have a cousin that is named Kevin,
there's a point.
actually.
There's a point to all this. I promise.
Yeah.
Would you say that they're like what? Like, would you say that they're looked down upon as like sort of being like dumb or brutish? Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. Now here's
Here's
the
the story.
turn.
Yeah.
Are you're aware of the term Chad
Yeah.
in the incel thing?
The
Yeah.
sick fucking name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a cool name.
Yeah.
But like 5 to
Kyle?
10 years ago.
Chad and Kyle, yeah.
Chad and Kyle.
Wait, how does Kyle fit in? Is Kyle
Actually, I have a
No,
cousin that is named
Kyle
Kevin.
is like the dude who drinks like too many Monster Energy drinks.
Kyle?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like is like a Justin.
Wait,
Yeah.
does Mountain Dew have caffeine?
Yeah, of course it does.
Oh, I didn't know because I saw like I saw a person. Like, I always ask myself, why are people like drinking so much Mountain Dew if it's not like a fucking energy drink? Apparently it is.
No, it's not an energy drink.
Yeah, but it has caffeine.
Yeah, but Mountain
What
Dew
is
is like
it, though?
But it's
Mountain
like-
Dew is like
It's like gamer juice. Like gamers
Yeah,
in Germany
exactly,
drink
yeah.
Mate,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and in the
Yeah.
US they drink Mountain Dew
Yeah,
Code
because
Red.
saw
I had the,
like
the Live Wire, the orange one. I
I saw
thought
a
so
kid
cool
like
in fourth
posting a
grade.
story on Instagram, and it was like, "Oh, this is my youth," and it was just like a picture of Mountain Dew, and I was like, "Oh, that was you."
That was sad.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
a Kyle would mostly drink like Monsters though, and probably get the Monster logo
What was
tattooed on him
Rockstar?
somewhere.
Is there anyone that drinks Rockstar, or is that just for like?
I don't know.
Rockstar didn't take
how
off as
is,
much as
like,
Monster.
The energy, like the dynamics.
The energies, man. Whoa.
No, like because I know Mountain Dew, I know like Dew. What's the other shit? Monster.
Yeah.
And what's with Rockstar? Is that like loser gamer kids? Like more if they are more loser than the people that drink Monster, are they actually less
They're actually cooler
losers?
than.
Because that is complicated.
It is complicated.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew is definitely a soda, and it's what you drink in very large quantities.
Oh.
Whereas Monster or Rockstar, at least from my understanding, is what you pick up at the gas station
Oh.
in your car, or maybe you take a couple home.
All right.
Or you get the fucking massive can that they sold, the BFC.
I figured
The
out
big
that.
fucking can.
I don't know about that.
You never saw that? It
No.
was like this big.
Wait, what?
But
Oh.
if you just get your Mountain Dew in like a double gulp from
Yeah.
7-Eleven, that's bigger.
You're cool.
So Chad
Yeah.
is a term in the incels, and a Chad, I think you could fairly say, is an object of envy for the incels, right? Because the Chad gets all of the girls.
Does
right?
he?
Well, like no, I mean in the incel paradigm, right? The Chad is like
All right,
having
yeah.
sex with all the Stacys,
Yeah.
and the incels don't. But maybe I'm dumb. Maybe this is completely wrong. I feel like more like 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I saw it on Reddit a lot. But a Chad was just like a Kevin. Like the Chad was like a dumb person who was like
Yeah.
rude or something. Like I don't know, would like be obnoxious. Like the guy in I don't know where I was going. Something like, you know what I mean? And so then
Yeah.
it makes me think that the Chad then, like the Kevin now in Germany, because as we know, these kind of like cultural things.
They take some time to get over
Yeah,
here.
they take some time to develop. And like, I feel like all of the Kevin hate is a little bit of like sublimated inceldom among the Germans. And that in 5 years, when conditions develop and it's just more of a fascist society and more like the US,
More
they'll
fun.
just be openly like, those Kevins are having all the sex with all the, I don't know, fucking Lauras or whatever the equivalent would be.
All
And
the Lauras.
I hate them, you know?
Lauras
I really think
or
there's a connection
Kevins?
between this.
Probably.
I believe you. I think that's a good theory.